Well, it's so nice to meet you. Like we were just saying, my first that I studied was my two husbands, and I think I always knew you as Stefan. And in fact, I was talking to Jace because I have Jace coming up on the 18th to talk about the new movie that you guys are in. And we were just bantering back and forth, but about you. And but I want to give you the floor because I love you got a pretty big eclectic body of work, I will say. You're one heck of an actor. I mean, NCIS New Orleans. I mean, you go big, my friend. So I want to give you time first off to talk about the new Lifetime movie coming up for you, and then we'll touch base on a few of my favorite ones, including some of my listeners who gave me some of their favorite movies to chat with you about. So go ahead and tell us what's the new one that's coming up for you.
So the new one that's coming out was actually called The Boy by the Pool originally when I auditioned for it. And I believe because I've received a message here from one of the other actors, actually was Jace, that it's called The Little Boy Who Went Missing now.
Uh-huh.
And it's supposed to air Friday, March 27th on Lifetime Movie Network. Uh, I mean, this is a director I've worked with in the past, Damien. I worked with him on A Time for Love. On that one, he did a little bit of directing, but he also primarily on that one he just produced it. And Jacoba produced both of these. So I really love working with those guys. They always when they bring actors in, they make sure they're, put up in a nice place, nice area, and make you feel welcome. And those are always things you appreciate because you're already have a lot on your mind, and you don't want to, be staying in places that you have to worry about your health or life or anything,
Uh-huh.
which I have dealt with some of those too on film sets. But no, they're just a good production company to work with. And Damien's actually he's Argentinian, which I grew up playing soccer. Like I played soccer all my life and actually played soccer in college as well, and went to an NAIA school in Kentucky. And NAIA basically with soccer, like sports like soccer, is actually probably arguably better than like NCAA Division One soccer because NAIA, like colleges can play international players as many as they want on the field at one time. And I mean, everyone knows that, the United States is not the best country in terms of like soccer or football, as most countries call it. But so I got to play with a lot of guys from Argentina, Brazil, South America in general. But I had a ton of friends from Argentina. So when I found out he was from Argentina, we just kind of had, we had things to talk about, Damien and I, which was cool. And when I went to Miami to film, Miami, Fort Lauderdale area to film this movie, there was actually a tournament going on there, which was cool. So
Oh wow.
got to see some, yeah, it was like a big club tournament going on there. And so I got to catch a game, which was cool. And but he's not overly big into soccer like some Argentinian guys are, but his son, I mean, he's got a son like roughly the same age as my son as well. So, I just feel like we've got some things in common, which is always, good and makes you feel more at home when you're away from home for a long period of time. So that was awesome. And then Laura was great. She's been in tons of Lifetime movies, way more than I have, or even Hallmark probably. And I mean, just all around, like good people to work with, enjoyed the process. It was actually not a tough one for me. It was actually like one of the Laurie had predominantly the large amount of dialogue in the film. So I mean, I was in like a lead role, like opposite her, but at the same time, like my character, he's basically like a detective type guy, and like I just come in, say a few things, and get out. So like. I mean, it's a lead role, but at the same time, like there wasn't a whole lot of work to be done on my part in order for in means of preparation or memorizing dialogue. Because at this point in my career, it really doesn't take me all that long to memorize dialogue, and a lot of times on these type of films, anyway, you'll memorize it, and then you'll come in for the scene, they'll set a new, script down. You have to learn it all over again before you ever even tape. So, uh, but there were days, I mean, it was actually just like an amazing it felt like a paid vacation is what it felt like. I was in Miami. We stayed in an awesome hotel. I mean, there were like yachts like driving past my room on this, like, I guess it's like a channel or something that's there, or the bay or whatever. But like, I mean, it was just gorgeous, beautiful weather. The hockey game was being played. The national and their local hockey team won. I mean, it's like all these things just like came together at the same time of making this movie. So it was just an unbelievable, like one of my favorite experiences I've ever had working on a film.
It sounded like it. Can you touch on just giving us like a little peek into your character for this one?
Yeah, I mean, so my character is, you know, I think he's kind of a laid back guy and not really, definitely by the books in a way. Like he doesn't want to do anything that's would be against protocol, so to speak. And he's kind of asked by a female that he's potentially interested in to help in a situation that he's not sure about whether or not it's morally correct for him to do so, because there's not enough proof, and it's all speculation until there is proof. And but at the end of the day, he does make sure that he does his due diligence in trying his best to figure out, okay, this does sound suspicious, so let me check into this. And it let's see where it goes type thing. And there's definitely a willingness to help there, and kind of always like on call, ready to go if what this female love interest, is saying is true. There's a situation where she's seen this, kid. It's something she remembers from her past of seeing this boy, being missing. And then she's at this resort and is out at the pool, and she feels like this is the kid that was missing. And it's like,
Oh, wow.
was it the kid? Like, she approaches me with it, and I'm like, I mean, come on. That doesn't, there's no evidence there.
Um,
Um, so yeah, it's a role I've played many times. Obviously, I've played, you know, the latest being where I played a cop. Actually, one's about to come out, Faces of Death, like the remake. I played a officer in it, but Day of Reckoning, I got to play a sheriff's officer opposite Billy Zane, who is obviously, you know, Titanic. I mean, he's been in everything. Probably my favorite filming experience outside of, like, obviously I said this one in terms of location and just like the people I got to be around and work with was amazing, but like getting to work with Billy on that. such a prestigious actor, and and it turned out to be a really good film. I like action films, and that's what that one was. So just really enjoyed that process. That was shot out of Atlanta. So yeah,
Yeah,
played that type of character, many times. So it's just finding the little nuances that help bring the new character to life and make them slightly different than what you've already done.
yeah, but you've played alongside some pretty big. I mean, Billy Zane, Will Smith. I mean, you've had some heavy hitters.
Yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate. I have not been, well, I say I've been fortunate. We all feel like, at times that we could, or, that we've been doing it long enough that we feel like we maybe deserve a little bit more. And I'm not gonna lie, there's times I feel that way. I mean, the one I worked on with Will Smith was Emancipation. That was an Apple TV film, and the audition itself was minor dialogue. It was more of a physical character. It's basically me, evil villainous, evil character that is mostly just physical in terms of like I had to like rip him out of the shed. But I will say this about Will Smith, because you always don't know what you're going to get when you work with people who are that famous and things like that. Very nice guy, first and foremost. Made sure everyone that was working felt welcome. But he also, what surprised me and shocked me the most was that, I mean, I'm ripping this dude out of this shed over half a day. And like there were multiple times where the camera is facing the opposite direction and he could have gotten someone else to do it, as opposed to him doing it himself. But, he was throwing lines back to his, opposite lead in the film and female lead in the film. And he would like, let us do it the whole, like over half a day. He's got us like, manhandling him, like dragging him out of the shed. And I respect that, because I feel like that's something I would do. Or I mean, I know I do it, but I'm saying even if I got to that level, like I just care enough about the craft, and then I also have like an athletic background. So there's like, you know, allowing or letting someone else do that for me. I don't know if I could live with that. So, and I do feel like it's majorly important, I mean, and your due diligence to, give the character you're in the scene with your best, even when, the camera's on their coverage. I think that, I mean, if you have that attitude, I think that, people with that kind of attitude is what makes films better, uh, overall.
That's, I mean, like we were discussing before we started. I mean, have seen you in so many intense roles. I mean, Lifetime automatically that knee jerk reaction is okay. This is going to be another intense one, and it seems like you like that type. You really, not that I'm not saying the other stuff you didn't shine because you do, but like my two husbands, Emancipation. Now, I mean, really, I can't wait to see the new one. The little boy who went missing. I think it's a true testament to who you are in this business, in this craft, because I think it takes someone of another caliber to be able to jump into these roles at geez, the intensity of these. I mean, Lifetime. I mean, you can't get any more intense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like first and foremost, I consider myself a storyteller more than I consider myself an actor. I went to when the economy crashed in '07, '08. I
Mm.
was in real estate, which is, it got hit the hardest. Like real estate dropped, and I was like, I mean, I wasn't really necessarily happy with. Kind of fell. My dad was a real estate appraiser, so I kind of fell into this whole like, well, I'm just gonna follow in my dad's footsteps type thing, which so many people do, in the Southeast and from where I'm from, and that's not me. It's just not me. Like I'm more of a people person, and to tell you the truth, I miss like the team atmosphere that like sports offered because I was no longer like involved in like team sports because I'd finished all that. And there's no, there's nothing, no more like greater team atmosphere than trying to make a movie. I mean, it's literally
Uh-huh.
like building an army. Like there's no, I mean, endless positions on a film set. You can be a medic, you can be, a construction worker. You can, I mean, the list goes on and on and on, So, and it really makes a difference as to whether or not those people come together and as to whether or not it's a good end product. So, I mean, it's really like being a part of a team and, everybody has to hold each other accountable type thing. Uh, so that's what kind of drew me back to it. But I went to film school in '07, '08 for the other side of the camera. Because I had no idea. First of all, I mean, we just grow up thinking like in the Southeast, like acting, like you tell somebody you're going to be an actor in the Southeast when you're like,
Yeah.
they're like, you, what?
Are
Dude,
you crazy?
somebody hit you on the head? Like, what's going on? Uh, so that felt very far-fetched and unrealistic in terms of like, you know, something that you could consider a career. So that's why I went to film school and you know, I got a film degree with an emphasis in writing and directing from Watkins School of Art Design and Film in Nashville, Tennessee, which has now been bought out by Belmont University. But you know, there, there's parts of it. I'm glad I made that decision. There's parts of me that because I have student loans still, there's parts of me that wishes just I would have just jumped on a film set. But there's also parts of me that's like, I mean, the experience I had, the people I met, the connections I made, getting to live in that city. I love Nashville for 5 years was an amazing experience. So like, even though I do have that monthly payment that I dread, I do, I don't. I don't have any problem with my decision at that time because I had no idea what to do. Like I knew I loved it. I knew I always had a love for film and filmmaking and television, but I had no clue what to do living in Mississippi. Like there's not many like options available. So I just chose to go get an education on that side of the camera. And then when I got out, I moved to LA lived there for about 8 months. And then I got an offer to work on a feature film that was being shot in Mississippi that was being directed by Allison Eastwood, which is Clint's daughter. It's called
Mhm.
Battle Creek, and got an offer to be a script supervisor on that because that's basically what I did the first 2 years of my career in film, professional career in film was script supervising, which is the most like multitasking to the degree. Like I mean, I can't even like tell you how much you have to be keeping up with at all times, like nonstop. I mean, and like you're having to like time every take. You're having to make sure coordinate with every single department to make sure they're in the right wardrobe, their hair's the right way, like makeup, all that stuff. And then after all that, somebody will come up to you and be like, "Are we on the right side of the 180? Is their eye line right?" And things like that. So you're like, I mean, it's just tons of stuff. But the way I looked at it is I'm getting to sit like elbow to elbow with directors, watch the monitor. I get to hear them. I get to see their blocking rehearsal. I get to hear them communicate with their actors. And that's what I'm gravitating back towards now. The reason I went into acting was because my son was born. I would have never even probably done that, but I didn't want to, like, if you're on the crew side and you're working a feature or especially like a series, like if you're working a feature, you're probably gone for 3 weeks out of town a lot of times. And that's like a small budget feature. If it's a large budget feature, it could be 3 to 4 months. If it's a series, you could be gone for a year. And I feel like it's important when children are young to be present and as a father to be present and be a part of their life. So I just started thinking and seeing all these like actors working on these films, and they're like coming in for 3 or 4 days and making the same money that somebody working crew it takes 2 or 3 weeks to make. So like I started learning the craft of acting. I mean, I've always felt like I'm an outgoing person. I'm a Leo. I was born in July. Like I always want to like kind of entertain people or make people have a good time wherever I'm at and things like that. So that's what got me into that. But now he's 10 and he's as
Adorable.
he becomes a teenager. Thank you. He's
It's
uh,
also
he actually his mother's Italian, like Sicilian, so he's got
okay.
that bronze. So I got to give her more credit than I give myself. He's got that bronze skin year round. Like, yeah, he's got it going on. I try not to let him know it though. But he's a sweetheart too. I mean, that's the biggest thing. He's just a good kid. I mean, he's got a good heart. Uh, Never had to really discipline him, and even if I had to, I wouldn't because I love him too much. Like I could never do any type of major disciplining anyway. But yeah, it's just he's getting older, and like I know because I was a kid once, and I think that's important for all of us to remember as adults, even, which is why I'm in this industry in the first place, is that never lose the kid inside of you. You know, I don't want to ever lose that until the day I die. I want to live like I'm a kid, like I want to constantly be doing things that make me feel like in awe of where I'm at, and that's what I try to teach my son as well. And then, like I say, he's getting close to being a teenager now. I know he's going to want more like monetary type thing. Want a certain
Mhm.
kind of car or whatever, and with acting, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm very fortunate to be an actor. I mean, I would say, I don't know the percentage, definitely t top 10%, but maybe even 5% of actors that over the past 4 or 5 years could consider themselves like honestly making a living as an actor. I mean, I do coach soccer on the side and things like that, but if I had to, I could have lived off my income just as an actor for the past 4 or 5 years. And that's not easy to say, but at the same time, there's even a smaller percentile, like the people that really like, everyone thinks like, oh, you're an actor, you're on TV, or you're making all kinds of money. It's not like that, the percentage of actors who actually make that kind of money
Yeah.
or even like, I mean, it's like 0.05% probably, or less than 1%. Uh, so I'm trying to get back to my roots in terms of like, I want to tell my own stories. I want to, if a role is right for me, yeah, I'll put myself in it. But like, I've gotten to where I'm teaching acting classes back home.
Very full.
And so, giving back in that way, and which obviously helps with directing because, that's what directing is basically talking to someone and, talking to the actor and getting the performance you want out of them without doing like line reads, like, hey, I want you to say it like this. That's like terrible directing. It's like getting them to figure out where you need them to be emotionally, physically, and within the story and the character to give you the performance you want out of them without like trying to, because line reading and things like that don't really work anyway. So yeah, I'm trying to get back to that. I really enjoy writing. It's actually what I've that's kind of why we had the little like mix up earlier. Had a deadline today. Had a audition. First of all, I had a Ford commercial audition deadline, and then I also had a deadline with a screenplay that I'm writing about Parchment Prisons called Redbird Fly for a woman out of Covington, Louisiana. So
Oh, very
it's
cool.
based on a true story. And Parchment Prison is in Mississippi, which is where I'm from. It's in the Delta, and yeah, so it's pretty exciting stuff. This is based back in the 1970s, though. So like, I love true stories. I love period pieces. I love Frank Darabont. If you know him, he did Green Mile and also did Shawshank, which are two of my favorite films of all
Mhm.
time. So. Yeah, that's it. It's pretty epic period piece type film. So excited about that.
I was gonna say I can see you um because I've seen you with your longer hair, and I was gonna say I could see you like in Yellowstone or something like of a Western, genre.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real shame. I've never even gotten to audition for Taylor Sheridan. And it's something I've talked about with all my agents and my manager. And it's like, I mean, that's my game. Like, I'm Southern. That's what I do. Like, how can I not audition for the like I'll go work, local hire all day long to
Oh
be in
yes.
there. And that's the frustrating part about it. I mean, and to tell you the honest to God truth, I mean, that's why I'm gravitating back towards doing my own stuff because, like, I mean, I consider myself after 10 years of putting work in. I mean, if I take 10 auditions, typically I'm booking something, which is pretty good odds, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I just have the confidence now to like, I mean, I feel like should. It's one of those occupations that you put in a ton of work and then like it still takes that one. You gotta have that one shot at something a little bit bigger that just gets national attention and really takes off before you ever like really get the financial side of it in terms of like truly being able to provide for like your family only doing that regardless of how much work you put in. So that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I've been doing this for over 10 years now, and don't get me wrong, I've been very fortunate and blessed to be like, I've been in some great TV stuff. I mean, Your Honor, NCIS New Orleans, Daisy Jones and the Six. I mean, those are some of the best of all time, right? But they're like also, I was only on them for like a day or two,
Yeah.
and the residuals during that time when they're going to these like platforms, uh, media digital platform, like you don't get any residuals. It's like hardly anything. So it's like, I based on any other job you do, if you put in that type of effort and work over that length of
Mm-hmm.
time, typically you're rewarded in a way of like, for instance, you get a bonus or you get, uh, more paid leave or whatever. Like, and
Exactly.
it's just not the case with this. Like, you gotta like really get a big break. And I feel like I did get a really big break, but it was like 2 years into my acting career, and that was on Mindhunter. I don't know if you've seen that, but if you like Lifetime movies and you have not seen Mindhunter, it's probably still on Netflix. But that was directed by David Fincher, who did like Seven, Gone Girl. Like, I mean, epic director. Epic, and Mindhunter is one of the best series I think that's been made, especially as far as like crime type stuff. basically covers these two guys who coined the phrase serial killer, but they, were FBI guys that went around and interviewed serial killers from like the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, went to prisons and like interviewed them and to try to find out how their minds worked. So you got these people, they're going around and talking to like Charles Manson, which was like the type of I was playing Tex Watson, which is the one who actually killed Sharon Tate and all those people in
Yeah.
California when she was pregnant and all that. Which there's obviously been a movie about it that Tarantino made now, uh, about 4 or 5 years back. But anyway, I was up for that role, and I'm not going to get into all that because it's a long story, and like I'm sure
No,
we're on the
you're
time frame here, but like I don't I was green as an actor then, and if you've seen Mindhunter, you got the two lead characters, Holt, I can't remember the other guy's name at the moment, guy from Frozen, uh, but both very talented people. But like for the most part, it's them coming in and like interviewing the serial killers. So the serial killer on each episode has like tons of dialogue, like 10 plus pages of dialogue, which I had. And, I thought I knew it well, and I did know it well, but I didn't know it well enough to the point where like I could pick up anywhere I needed to. And I was 2 years in, and I think
you're
I took it for granted. I mean, there's like I go in there, it's filming in LA. Like the series itself is shot in Pittsburgh, but these were like reshoots, and they'd already like cast. Like I auditioned for it like 8 times, and they went with someone else. Then they get ready to air it, or release it, and David or whoever, what the producers, whoever wasn't happy with the performance that the guy gave after all these auditions. And
oh my
so they
God.
so they called me back up like a year later after I'd already auditioned, like, do you want to do it again? Flew me back out there, and then I was on set for like half a day, and a lot of bad decisions made on my part in terms of like I should have, like, one of the first questions producers asked was, do you want to stay like close to a set, or do you want to stay with like where all the actors are staying? And I was thinking in my head, oh, maybe I'll get to see the actors and we can run lines. That rarely would happen if you don't already know them. Like I should have stayed near the set and all that. But anyway, like I get my call sheet the night before, I put it in my maps, and then uh, it's like, oh, it takes an hour to get there. Well, I wake up the next day in LA, and I'm like, all right, I got time. I'll leave an hour and a half or hour and a half ahead, so I get there 30 minutes early. Well, I go to put in the address the day of, and it's like due to traffic at that specific time, now the drive to set is closer to 2 hours.
Mm,
So I'm late to a David Fincher set as a 2-year actor. And I'll never forget, like I walked on set, and he just like he looked at his watch and then looked up at me. And
I'm
like, I mean,
sorry.
I'd love to get to talk to him now because like, and just apologize for like how like ignorant I was about like just everything, like traffic, even in LA, like uh how professional to treat a job in terms of acting, like in terms of where I stayed, like I was having to self-submit to set. Why would I stay an hour away from set in LA as
Like,
opposed to stay right by the set? Like if I had to do over again, I'd have slept in the damn gym that we were shooting the thing in, like just to get in character. So it's just one of those things, like, it's a learning experience, and you just got to move on and take it for what it is. But like I do feel like if I had that role because it was literally like 10 minutes of dialogue, a monologue of just me delivering feedback on how I killed these people and these women from Tex Watson's point of view.
Yeah.
And I mean, I honestly still, even though they kept the person they did, and I don't even know his name or anything like that, but like it wasn't a Southern actor, and he was it was a fake accent, and I definitely still feel like I was best for the role, but I do understand his reason for not, uh, not going with me because I was not as prepared as I should have been. Because in my mind, I thought, okay, I know this well. I mean, if I had to go through the whole thing, I probably could the 10 pages, but they'll probably be cutting, we'll do part of
Yeah.
it from here, then
Mhm.
we'll cut and we'll do it from over here. It wasn't like that. Like I was expected to know every single bit of that 10 pages, 10 plus pages, every single take, And not
Wow.
only that, I mean, I'm looking at cameras that are like, you know, 4 feet, the lens included, like 4 feet long, three of them, like staring at me. I mean, it was just all like a new world to me. I mean, I'd acted in things, but nothing. I mean, that's elite level, at a very early point in my career. So I kind of got thrown into the sharks, so to speak, and it just I haven't gotten that one true, that shot like that again. You're always hoping for that. Everyone deserves that second chance, right?
No, I have to interject on that because I really and truly I do believe you've been on the journey. That's saying it. But I think with each role that you've had, and yeah, that that part where you're like should have been better prepared and whatnot. But I think that taught you, and I mean everything is setting you up on where you need to go. And I mean, side note, I know I've done this over 10 years, and I know a couple people connected with Taylor Sheridan. So my brain's already going. But, I think, I mean, seeing the work that you've done, including, I will be watching the little boy who went missing. You can tell you like both sides of it. You can tell you like the acting, and but you also like to do behind the scenes. So you'll get that break, my friend. I will say you will get it.
Well, thank you. I mean, you kind of brought it up earlier, but I think the main thing that the one thing that I feel best about my acting career is the fact that I have not like allowed myself to get like pigeonholed. You were
Mhm.
speaking of like when I had like the longer hair, for instance, like I do that like on purpose. Like
Uh-huh.
if they book me like for 2 years in a row, the only roles I'm booking is like rom-coms and things. Like I'll grow my hair out and grow my beard out and like, all right, how you gonna cast me in a rom-com now? Like
Yeah,
they're not even gonna ask me to read because of the way I look physically. So like it forces me to and forces them to have to see me for something more than just that because I feel like most all, I mean, there might be some actors that prefer just to stick with a specific genre, but like I'm definitely not one of them. Like I want to be tested. Like I want, the most difficult, like put me in the most difficult, strenuous mental situation you could ever put me in and
yeah,
test me as a human being and as an actor, test me in ways that I haven't even experienced that throughout my life, or not even haven't experienced it throughout my life, but it almost can't even like find something else in my life to relate to get
yeah.
me to that level. Like
Hmm.
put me even beyond that to where I really have to, put the work in. Those are the type roles that I love and enjoy. So like, I mean, I was working, I used to work out all the time and, be cut up and ripped and it was working well for the rom-coms and all that. But then I was like, I want to play the twisted characters too. So, but I think it's good to have a healthy, just mentally, because I mean, these roles do affect you in your everyday life, in a way they're a part of you. So, like, if you do too many of one thing for too long, it eats at you, or it does
Oh,
me one way or another, which is why I try to bounce around. And then also, I mean, it shows that you have range and that people should pay attention to you for other reasons, outside of. I mean, if I had my choice, I would. I think what I would love the most as an actor would be like, uh, you know, uh, action comedy with a love interest, to where it almost like combines all three. You know,
yeah.
to where I get to do like the athletic type stuff, which is what I grew up doing. And then I get to play like the hero type role, and then there's a little bit of the rom-com in there, but then there's also some of the bad guy mixed in. Like, I mean, but like it's so hard to get them to see you as that specific, you know, person. I mean, when you start talking about action comedy, hero character, that's like some of your top 10 actors in the world are the ones that basically
Gotcha.
that's who it's rotated between, as to who gets those roles. But I mean, might as well shoot for the top, right?
Oh yeah. And it's why I say go for the top, and if it's men, it'll happen for you.
Yeah, but yeah, like I say, I mean, I enjoy filmmaking just in general. So like, it's not just about the acting for me. I have my own stories I want to tell, and then I want to help people tell their stories. Not just me being that doesn't give me being in front of camera or seeing myself on TV or anything like that doesn't give me what I need out of this. Like that's not what I'm in it for. Like I want to tell stories and preferably tell stories that impact people in a positive way. I do understand that my character at times might not necessarily be such a positive or good person, but like I think entertainment is good for people in general in terms of them just being able to take their mind off things, and just sit down and watch a really good film. I think that's good for the soul. And then I also, just entertaining people or telling people stories that can possibly have even something way more than just entertainment, a positive influence on their life, to where it's like
Mhm.
life-changing experience, to where maybe they find God, who I believe in God. So uh situations like that, things like that, like teach this 12-year-old kid that you can lose a fight, like for instance Rocky, or lose a game, The Miracle. I'm just naming movies that,
Oh
or
God, yeah.
you
Hmm.
know, and still go on to have success and achieve and be, at the top. I mean, so inspirational type stories and things like that. I truly love. For instance, like this one that I'm writing now, it's primary. I mean, it's based on this woman that, like, when she was 10 years old, she went to live with her grandparents for the summer at Parchman Prison because her grandparents worked there. And in doing so, she ends up meeting one of the inmates who's like a, 35-year-old black man at the time. And this script showcases how much a 35-year-old black man and a little 10-year-old white girl can have in common, first of all, as human
Yeah.
beings, and also how much they're able to impact, have a positive impact on each other's lives in terms of how they view uh, race and everything else and just the world because they were open-minded
Hmm.
going into it as opposed to being closed-minded and shut off by those type things. So like stuff like that, like deep, deep shit.
Hmm. Yeah, I hear you. I'm up for it. I wanted to give you time to talk about Pacemaker, the film that you sent me the info on. Um, if you can touch base on that one, and I will help you once to promote it once it gets on online.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I appreciate that. So this is, I mean, obviously, in going to film school, you are required to, you know, write your own scripts for production one and two, and direct your own films in film school. But like, I would say this would be, this is like my breakout, like directing debut in terms of like having a decent budget for a short film. This was brought to my attention by a friend of mine out of Madison, Mississippi, Taylor Sarton, who actually played soccer with my brother growing up. But he had written a script back around like the COVID, and I don't get me lying, but there's for instance, there's one of the directors from Oh Brother Where, or not directors, sorry, producers from Oh Brother
Hmm.
Where
I,
Art Thou was holding a contest. I can't remember his name at this moment, but he was holding a contest, and this script had won the contest. So they were going to produce it for him for X amount of money. I mean, again, it's just a short film. It wasn't going to be a lot of money. They were just going to help him make his movie. And then when COVID hit,
Mhm.
that all got canceled, so it didn't get to go through. And then so here recently, Taylor, who wrote it, called me up and was like, I can't live with this anymore. Like I want to see this made. I'm going to, and like this type thing, like as an artist that I truly. I mean, first thing I told him when he called me up was like, "Do not make a $30,000 short film, dude. You're never gonna make your money back. Like, don't do it." But he said, "It's not about that for me. It's not about making the money back." He's like, "Yeah, I would love to make it back, but like, I mean, how can we like make something and then pitch something greater that leads to something more, and how do we, I just want to see what I wrote come to life because I know if something were to happen to me, and he's got a little young son too. Uh, he was like, I wouldn't be able to live with like I would hate for something to happen to me and me not have given it a go, which I totally respect, like wholeheartedly. Like that's the way I live my life. Like so, I was like, yeah, let's do it, and it's been a blessing. I got to so I'm helping produce it, wearing too many hats, really, to tell you the truth, to try to
I was gonna say you got a lot.
keep the budget down. Yeah. I mean, I can't even tell you how many hats I'm wearing and gonna have to wear, even in post, in terms of like I'm might be the one editing it as well, but it's been a great learning experience for me, especially from the producing side of things, because like when one thing goes bad, it like snowballs. Like you'll feel like you have
Mhm.
a location in place, and then they'll call you up and be like, "Oh, no, never mind. We can't do it. Can't do it." And then you're
List.
like, and it's like the day before you're supposed to shoot there, and you got actors flying in. I mean, and like you're like, and you just have to be cool and not show it across the face. Ah, your house is burning down, and you're just like, everything's fine.
Fine.
uh,
Got it.
So the producing side of thing, I mean, newfound love because I do like to be put under pressure, and I do like for every day to be different and me to have different, problems to solve and things to. So I love that aspect of it, but like, God, like it's just constant pressure. So total respect for producers, but definitely really, what I'm trying to do is I honestly think this thing is going to have a really good shot at winning a lot of film festivals, possibly even getting in some of the bigger and better ones because I just have amazing talent on this thing. I mean, it honestly, I mean, I'm not going to name all the talent because some of them probably weren't supposed to work on this, but because they're my friends, they did, and it's going to be special. It's going to be you know for a short film, it's going to be pretty epic. I think it's kind of along the lines of John Q. If you've ever seen that with Denzel.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I, I
To me, also, what makes it so special to me is it's my acting debut with my son. So, like, my son is playing my son in the movie. So that's something I'll always have and that will always be out there. And that's what, you know, makes it special to me. And I have to quit talking about it. I might start tearing up over here.
proud dad moment. It's
Yeah.
okay. You're allowed to have it. You're allowed to have it. Well, congrats, my friend. I mean, like I said, I will help you promote it. And thank you for sending, the photo. I will shoot it out all over my social media. And congrats on the little boy who went missing. It airs on March 27th on Lifetime. I can't wait to see it. Um, and from my heart to yours, just talking to you now, there are great things and big things on the horizon for you. And I'm really looking forward to see what comes next for you. And this is not our last time that I will say that we will connect. I think there's a lot more to come for you. And that cutie.
Oh, yeah. He's the one that's got it made, I think. I'm gonna be the one that like people might somewhat remember my name, but like it's gonna help him like rise to the top. But that's also what scares me and why I don't like I just don't push that on my kid. If he gets an audition in and he's not feeling like it, that day, then I don't force him to do it. I just don't feel like a child that age, like I just let him decide. If he feels like doing it, we audition. If we don't, I don't care if it's Disney or whatever. Like if he doesn't feel like it based on the pressure he's had at school that day or whatever, then I mean, to force someone to do something, I believe at like a young age is like to make them hate it, you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and like I want him to learn to love it and appreciate it from like a standpoint of like being, encouraging and inspirational to other people as opposed to like money or anything like that. But he definitely he's got it going for him way more than I do in the looks department and also
Don't
just
sell yourself
he's just
short.
a great human. I mean, he's just a very good kid. Like I don't know how he's mine based on based on how wild and crazy
Do
I
not
was
sell yourself short.
back in the
No.
day. But yeah, just want to thank you for having me on, Donna, and then
You're very welcome.
also the cast. You know, Jace, Laurie, Marilla, all of them, and then Damien and Jacoba. Again, that's like twice. I don't know if I'm pronouncing Jacobo right. I don't know if it's Jacoba
Okay.
or Jacoba, but anyway, they've been really good to me and had me back several times, and I've enjoyed my experience every time. So I'm glad to see. It took a while for this one to come out. or get released for some reason. I wasn't sure what it was, but if it ends up on Lifetime, that's usually a good thing for these type films because they can end up other places as opposed to Lifetime, which typically is considered not as good. uh, so, apparently they got it done the way they needed to. Will little one last thing before I go, something cool, just for
Yes.
like anyone who's watching it, unless they change the edit, because I had to do ADR on this film. Unless
Oh
they change
no.
the edit, so I kind of got to watch a lot of it, like not its final version, but unless they changed it, so there's this point in the film where Jason and I I'm trying to, what was his character's name? I was trying to figure that out. But there's this point where we're in the park, and he's the boy's real dad, the boy that's been missing, and his name's Rex. So Jason and I are running this scene, and like in the middle of the take, he's supposed to like try to take off and go after his kid, and I'm supposed to stop him. Well, like he goes to do that, and I put a hand out, and when I do, like he bam, like falls and like hits the ground, like hits the concrete, like, and he starts laughing because I'm looking down at him like this, but the camera's over here in a wide shot. So like as soon as he hits the ground, like I didn't hear cut, right? So I kept acting. And I did see the smile on his face, but like, I helped him back up as soon as it happened. And that's the take they ended up using in the film. So I just thought that was pretty cool. And like for
I'm gonna look for it.
any actors that are out there, it's a reason to always like stay in the scene. That's one thing that I teach my students in my class is to my class is mostly about auditioning, how to audition properly to give yourself the best chance to book roles. But staying in a scene and actually truly being present in a scene matters so much. And I just thought it was really cool they ended up using that tape.
I'm gonna look for it when I watch it. But like I said, this is not our last time to chat. And again, congratulations. I know that there are plenty more on the horizon that will be happening for you. And I appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Donna. And mutual respect. I mean, I love what you're doing. I think it's not easy to reach out to people you don't know and put yourself out there like that. So anybody that does anything like that and has a passion for this industry, I have total respect for. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you be well and go get some rest or at least get some shut eye in between all this
Yeah,
multi
that,
hat.
that doesn't happen often, but I'll
Well,
do
you
my
got to
best.
try.
Thank you.
You take care. You're welcome.
Have a good night.
You too, honey.
Much love. See you.
Same here.